welcome to St. Mary's. We will start with a statement from Coach Bennett. Following his statement, we'll have questions for the student athletes. After the questions for the student athletes, we'll dismiss them and have a few more questions for Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, no, those are always, in these conference tournaments, those are always the stories that make these tournaments interesting. Pepperdine won 3 games. It played really well, and they came out and played pretty well tonight early, and we just wore them down on the boards. And I thought we played well. And up till the last 6 minutes, I thought we played well.
Okay, questions for the student athletes. Go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll get to the microphone.
Luke, I'll start with you. Early on in this game, the team was a little bit kind of seemed sluggish offensively, and then you kind of had that initial burst there at the beginning. Was that something that you kind of noticed, or was that just kind of in the flow of the offense you were able to get some early opportunities?
Yeah, we didn't play great on both sides of the ball for the first couple of medias, but yeah, coach was telling me just keep getting to the rim and make them pay, and yeah, don't let them make us just settle for shots that we they're not the best shots. I think once we started getting good shots, and then we just know once we get a shot up, we'll probably have a good chance to get the rebound. So yeah, it was just my teammates setting me up and getting good shots and then getting on the glass.
Just how aware were you of what Pepperdine's been doing? Did you watch any of those games, and did it sort of create a challenge for you to go up against Odom?
Yeah, we've been obviously watching. You know, we follow the tournament. We just got here on Sunday, but yeah, we watched back home. We watched in the hotel room, and yeah, what they did was really, really impressive. And I mean, yeah, I talked before during the season with Stefan, with Dovydas. I mean, they said all those fires, their situation was crazy, and I feel like that those things, they get your team together, they get your team more tight, and yeah, it was impressive how they played these last 3 days, and we were respecting them, and we took this very seriously.
Yeah, for Luke and Augustus, I won't ask you which team you'd rather play between USF and Gonzaga. I'm not going to put you on the spot like that. But how will the game be different if it's USF or if it's Gonzaga?
I don't think we're thinking that far ahead. I think they're both great teams. We lost the game to USF, and it's always tough with Gonzaga. So we'll be anticipating either one of them, and it's going to come down to us and us doing the things that our 4 musts, which I think we did tonight. We defended, we rebounded, played hard the whole time. So it's going to come down to us. We're definitely going to watch that, and yeah, it'll be a different scout for either of those games, but we'll be prepared for either one.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I feel like the best thing we can do right now is get good food, good recovery, get some sleep, and I mean, we'll have the scout tomorrow. I know our coaches, as usual, they do really good on scout, and they will let us know everything we need. And yeah, I mean, both teams are really good, and we'll see later tonight.
Anyone else have a question? Okay, thanks guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, questions for Coach Bennett?
We good?
Randy, what was more important from Luke tonight, the 13-8 or the fact that Todorovic went 3 for 14?
3 for 14.
That's not uncommon for Luke to do that to a guy, right? Even a guy is offensively.
I think that was as good as any of them in our league. I have no idea how he didn't make all conference. I assure you, I voted for him. He's a really good player, scorer. He just put 34 on somebody last night. Night before, he's really good. He and Odom are both all league guys, and so I think they probably had a chip coming into this thing. They're seniors, and they both had really, really good years. They're both very good players, and Odom played really well tonight. And Luke had something to do with a lot to do with Todorovic not getting a lot of open threes. So no question, I thought Luke played really well, but definitely what it gave us on the defensive end by being able to do a good job on Todorovic. That was one of the big keys to the game.
Randy, with obviously the long layout, this is not something you guys are unusual, or this is not sort of something you're used to going into this tournament. Was there any difference on the scout coming into this one? Because probably at least there's some level of expectation was probably going to be Santa Clara, and you end up with Pepperdine.
Yeah, to say the least, we didn't have a lot of work done on Pepperdine when that game played out last night. So it was a scramble. And fortunately, we played them twice this year, and I felt like we had a pretty good idea on how to defend them. And when we did that, like I said, up to the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game. So, yeah, congrats to them. I mean, they had some guys rally up. They could have laid down, but they beat Portland. They beat Oregon State, who's a very good team. And they beat Santa Clara, who's a really good team. And so – I'm sure they were worn out a little bit, but they came out ready to go, and yeah, pretty cool to see them be able to do what they did, and pretty cool to see us do what we did.
I was going to say, it is a cool story, and you see this at this time of year. But as the coach, do you worry that, we could get caught up in their momentum, and, and people are starting to root for them, and it could get tricky?
No, I think it usually does. I think everybody starts rooting. Everybody except for the guys wearing blue and red up in the stands starts rooting for the underdog. But we were able to separate early in that second half, and it kept it from being that. So that's where we were good. We were able to separate that game, something nobody else has been able to do in this tournament. And I just credit to their coaching staff and their kids to rally it up. It's easy to lay down and get on to spring break and figure out what you're doing next year, and they didn't. And somebody had to rally them up, and I would imagine it was the coaching staff and those senior players, and those especially those two. But Koulibaly's a senior too, and he's a big factor to them as well. But those two, Odom and Todorovic, are really good players.
Odom scored 12 points in the first 8 minutes, and then didn't score again for 14 minutes. That was just added emphasis getting the ball out of his hands. Is that really what it was?
We keep. He's really quick and really good. He's a very good passer, and we kept screwing up our coverage on him, letting him drive against the on balls. And if you get it, let him get in open space. Not only can he score it, he can see everybody, and he can get what he does, 7, 8 assists a game. And so after that, Augustus is a really good defender, really good. And he's done a good job on Odom both games we played him this year. And then tonight, Odom really played well early and kind of kept him in the game. And once we got that straight, we did a good job on him.
Randy, I don't know if you heard Ed Schilling after the game last night when he was talking about what he wants for his program. And I'm paraphrasing, but not by much, but he said, what I want for our program is somewhere down the road, they say Pepperdine. Yeah, that's a St. Mary's. How do you react to that?
It's a compliment. And, yeah, it's a compliment from him. Appreciate him saying that. And I wish him all the luck getting there. It's not easy.
Hey, Coach. Pepperdine held that lead in the first half, around 7 points midway through. Did you kind of feel that Cinderella March Madness energy, and what did you do to nullify it that other teams couldn't do?
No, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel that. I knew it was going to be a game. I told our guys, the biggest thing about this game is get your heads right. This is going to be these Cinderella stories are real. They get momentum, and they forget that they're the 9 seed. And they have a couple players that are, like I said, all league guys. And so I think we knew it could be like that but I think eventually what we could do to nullify that is defend and rebound, and that's what we did. So that's been our strength all year, and we were pretty good on offense. We didn't turn it over till the end, and so that's when we're pretty good. And we were consistent. We didn't panic. We weren't going to panic. We haven't panicked all year, so we weren't going to panic.
Randy, the rebounding numbers every game, particularly on the offensive glass, right up there around the tops nationally. What goes into that? Desire, size. Why is this team so effective on the glass?
And personnel's first. You know, so we'll play Saxon and Harry out there. There's 6'10", 250, and 7 foot, 275, and they're coming at you. And Paulus is a really good offensive rebounder, and Luke Barrett's a really good offensive rebounder. And I think we are number one in the country on plus minus on the boards, and that's the biggest thing. And then our coaches we emphasize it. It's a big emphasis. We were number one in the country last year, so that was kind of, our goals to do that. And that's from the spring on, the weight training, the conditioning, the getting strong, and then the mentality once we start practice. But I would seem to have lost my mind if I don't make the biggest thing personnel. We have good players, and they're big, and we play big, and we're willing to make the trade-off. And Saxon can guard 4 men, so we can do it. And that's what it comes down to.
Any other questions for Coach?
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
thank you. You guys know the drill?
Yeah.
Coach, you want to give us a statement?
Sure. Couldn't be more proud of a group of young men. It's easy to have a team if everything's going right, you're winning. I've been on teams, when I was at UMass, we were 35-2. We won our, we were number one in the country for 10 straight weeks. It's easy to work hard and do all of that and to be great teammates, and to be coachable. But let me tell you what, when you go through adversity like we went through, and guys just continue to give it their best every single day and are coachable every day, I've never experienced something like this, and that's what these guys did. And more incredible than when everything's going right, guys can be good dudes, but these guys were great. They were great, not good, they were great all year. Through the hard times, the fires, the adversity, they kept bringing it. They were coachable, they were good teammates, and they're going to be great men. When basketball finally, the air comes out, these guys are going to be successful. If they'll continue to live the way they did this year, the sky's the limit for these guys.
Okay, questions for the student athletes?
Mo, could you tell me if you felt the same way coming into this game that you did the last 3 games, and at what point did you realize that St. Mary's is, as you know, more difficult to play against than some of the teams in the league?
Yeah, I felt the same coming in since the last 3 games. You know, we had momentum. We was in rhythm. We was all connected as a team. We was trusting each other the most we've ever trusted each other throughout the whole season. So I felt really good, and just, you know, give credit to St. Mary's. You know, they've been doing that all year. They've beat up on everybody, including us, including just the whole conference. So I just give credit to St. Mary's.
For both of you, you guys have experienced everything on the scale this year, both in the community, on the court, off the court. What's the lasting memory of this whole season?
I mean, before I answer your question, I would just like to give credit to St. Mary's. I have a huge respect for their program and what they've been doing these whole past years, and especially this year. They've been incredibly hard to play against. And then I want to thank people on my side, guys who brought me here, starting with Coach Schilling, Coach Scott, and then all other coaches, players, teammates, managers, everybody. It's been my college career didn't go as I expected, and then these guys gave everything they had to me to kind of finish my college career in a good way. And of course we want to win today. Not to find an excuse, but you guys can imagine how hard it is to play in 4 games in 4 days and with a high volume of minutes like me and Mo. But without the support and energy from our teammates, we wouldn't be here talking to you guys for what, fourth straight time. So yeah, that's it. I just want to say big thank you to everybody.
Mo, same to you.
What was the question?
The lasting memory with everything you guys got.
It's so many memories going back from June. We had to travel a lot just to practice on campus. We got 1 gym. We had to travel to Malibu High School, Viewpoint High School. Just doing that as a team, practicing 2 times a day, once during the day, once at night. Just going at it, going hard with the fellas every single day. You know, that's my favorite memory. That's my favorite memory. Just being in the gym with everybody every single day for majority of my day, and barely being home, and just doing it every single day, waking up, looking forward to practice, looking forward to yelling, looking forward to getting yelled at, looking forward to getting coached, just looking forward to everything basketball gives.
If you could both answer this, real simple, the last 4 days, has this been fun?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't take it for granted.
Extremely fun.
Any other questions? No, one more here.
One last one for Mo. Throughout these days, you've kind of emphasized where you're from over in New York City with some of the guys from Santa Clara who were here. And what do you think you almost showcased to the people back home who maybe were like, let me go see someone from my part of town go off on the biggest stage?
I feel like it's motivating for the younger generation coming up, because there's so many distractions growing up in New York City. So just to see me, a person like me, coming from poverty, coming from where they come from, they see me doing it on a big stage. I feel like that motivates them to feel like they could do it just like me, and I hope that's what I did for them.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Congrats on a great run. All right, questions for Coach?
Coach, how much of what happened tonight is run out of steam a little bit, perhaps after 4 days and playing so great for the first three, and part of tonight, in fact, but also the other part of it being playing against a team that's very difficult to play against.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything in perfect order, it's going to be really, really hard. But, I could see it in their eyes. They wanted to do it. They couldn't do it. Steph told me after the game, I feel so bad. I had nothing in the tank when the game started. But you know what? We tried. I tried everything we could to just pull a little bit to go on fumes and pull it out. But we made it respectable. I mean, when you look at to go against the number 18 team in the country, number 1 seed that's been sitting waiting and make it ends up a 15-point game or whatever it was. I was an English teacher, so I don't know what but anyway, but to make it a 15-point game against one of the absolute best teams in the country, given what we've been through, I mean, come on, how proud, what can a coach ask? They gave us everything they had. I pushed and tried to pull everything I could out of them at the end, and they gave it all. They just didn't have anything else to give, and I feel honored. I mean, honored to coach these guys.
They both played great, but Mo had a magical week. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, I think when my assistant said he played 150 out of the 160 minutes. This guy weighs 150 pounds. I think a couple of the guys on St. Mary's, one leg weighs that, but he played 150 to 160 minutes. He broke the WCC total assist records for a tournament. And, I mean, oh, my goodness, what did he do? And as much as anything, he just his energy and his enthusiasm and his passion was infectious, I think, not only to our team, but I think to the people that watched. And the number of text messages and things that I got about, man, Mo Odom, and, how exciting is that? You get a guy like him, and, his game last year wasn't so good in this building. And to go and to do what he did in here, wow.
And can you just talk a little bit about how tough they are defensively and as a rebounding team? Because they hammered you on the boards pretty bad.
I mean, all we talked about was rebound, 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 and all they did was rebound, rebound, rebound. I mean, they are just elite rebounders, and their technique, their strength, their positioning, the way they run their offense is built for second shots. And we're a big team. I mean, not necessarily girth-wise, but we're pretty long and that stuff. And man, it was a 45-22 on the glass. So I mean, they just got every ball, and that was what we emphasized. I mean, what we showed on tape, all that stuff, that's what we showed, and we did everything we could to try to take that away, and we couldn't.
Ed, same question I asked Mo and Steph. Your lasting memory, given everything that you've experienced this season, even from when you got the job on day one?
Well, one, we had to put a team together from scratch. I mean, other than we had one scholarship player come back, and it was Boubacar, and he didn't even practice till October. So we had to put a whole team together from scratch. And to be able to pull this type of team together and to have them be as coachable as they were is something I'll never forget. You bring a group of guys together from around the world, from the Bronx to Lithuania to Serbia to, you name it. And you bring them together, and that they were as coachable as they were. And it didn't matter coachable whether it's on the court, but also when we talked to them about, hey, academics, you need to do this or that, they did it. We said, you need to go here, they were there. And this has been, to have that type of coachable team, when you pull them together to last minute, I mean, and then to see them continue to get their head, man, we fight, we go all the way to the end, but we fall short. We get a lead and we can't hold it. And yet they never lost heart. They kept fighting, they kept working, they kept coming together. They never turned on each other. They never turned on our coaches, which says a whole lot about my assistant coaches. I mean, from Coach Rizzo to Coach Edney to Coach Grubbs, Coach Doig, Coach Calvert. I mean, it says a lot about my staff as well, that these guys stayed together the way they did and they worked the way they did, and the improvement. Sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. How about how these guys finished? And I'll remember those things.
And last one for me, a simple one, but maybe not the simplest answer. What do people need to know about Pepperdine basketball in the future?
Well, we're on the rise. I believe these guys laid a rock solid foundation. When you look at that, and I can bring a recruit in and say, you want to see what Pepperdine's about? Here, watch this game, watch this game, watch this game. They laid a solid foundation that we can build something great on. We've got the Mountain coming, going to be one of the best facilities in all of America coming. We've got one of the greatest institutions in the country, and without question, one of the best locations in the country and campuses. So we got some things going, and what these guys did this year, we can build something that's going to last.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Great question. Thank you, guys. Good talking with you these last 4 games. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.